Now I'm waking up early to crush lines of Adderall and prepping myself for level 300 clears. Does Raids 3 make Oldschool Runescape the best MMO on the market? Now, it's been about a week since the release of Raids 3 in Oldschool Runescape, and boys, it's been a banger of a week. Now, I really wanted to wait and fully experience the good and the bad parts of the raid before I decided to make any type of video on it. I really want to get a full grasp of everything the raid has to offer. But I do have to say, while coming up with the pros and cons list, it was really hard to come up with different types of cons. The content is just fucking superb. It gives me flashbacks to being 12 and PKing with the boys. Y'all know, like, you don't really know anything that you're doing, but you're just having a great time. So that being said, in today's video, we're gonna cover my experiences of the Tomb of Amascut and dive into what I consider the pros and the cons of the raid. Now, I don't know about you all, but I like to get any bad news first. So we're gonna start off with the cons. Now, do note, these are all my opinion. Just like we all have buttholes, we all have opinions, and sometimes they aren't the prettiest. If you do disagree, agree, want to argue with me, please comment down below. I'd love to have some sort of civilized discussion. That being said, my cons are pretty short and concise. I don't think much is wrong with the raid at all, and I had some pretty low expectations, to be completely honest with you all. I waited 2 or 3 hours after the update went live because I swore to God, I thought there was going to be a rollback. And knowing my luck, I definitely would have pulled a purple, but Jagex pulled through and the release went through without a hitch. So, you know, hats off to them. But there are a few things I do have an issue with. First and foremost, some of the invocations just fucking suck. They are weighted extremely high for no real reason. Like walk the path. Do you all know how fucking tough those invocations are? Slap one of those bad boys on a 150 and you're taking 3 times as long to do the raid. It's actually insane. But then on the flip side, there are others which are basically free points. On a diet, no fucking problem, because we're drinking brews the whole time anyways. Why do we need food? Some of them just don't make a lot of sense. And I don't believe Jagex has plans currently to rework the points or invocations, but that's just one thing I've noticed that they could improve. Secondly, the entry mode purples. Now I think entry mode and below 150s are an amazing addition to raids. Really lets new players learn the mechanics and the boss fights. So thumbs up from me, but the ability, however small it is, to get a staff or a fang drop while pretty much breezing through the raid is just dumb. It's going to dramatically decrease the rarity of the drops. Not that that's a huge problem in it because of itself, because, you know, supply and demand, but I still do believe that raid items should be a little bit more difficult to get. Now, I do believe the drop chance gets higher the more invocations you add, but it just seems silly that you have the potential to get anything other than just learning from an entry mode. And lastly, like I said, there's not a tons of cons, but these servers, what in the hell has been up with these servers? I don't know what the tombs have done to the servers mechanically, but they have been awful since the release. Now, I'm assuming from my background in tech that all of these solo instances running over and over again on the servers are causing all of the lag. Not sure how they can really remedy this, but they should have thought this through, like, hey, there's gonna be hundreds of these instances per world. Might want to buff them up. Just an idea, and I really hope they fix this ASAP because it's super fucking frustrating clicking away from a firebomb and it still hits you. I honestly want to pull my hair out when it happens, but you know, that's it for the cons. Let's jump into my pros. Now, my list of cons was very, very short and concise, but my list of pros is absolutely massive. The content is a solid 9.8 out of 10 in my book. Is it really possible to get a 10 out of 10? Probably. Might require me getting a purple on day of release. But that being said, the content is fucking amazing. The first great thing about it is its accessibility to players of all PVM background. What do I mean by that? Well, if you're a 1700 total level noob with a whip, trident, and a blowpipe, you can complete this raid solo. You can do it by yourself. Watch some YouTube videos, read through the wiki, get a few runs, and you'll get it down in no time. You don't need bills worth of gold and a decade worth of tick counting experience. But on the flip side, all you sweaty tick lord bastards can ramp the invocations as high as you can go, and eventually you won't be able to complete it. At least not yet. I don't believe it's possible to complete it with all the invocations, but hey, you know, people said Jad wasn't doable at level 3 for a long time too, so RuneScape players will find a way. But you can at least make it harder as you learn and get better. It's not a static difficulty, and I think that's fucking brilliant. You all know the Inferno. You get thrown in at the highest current difficulty right off the bat. You either sink or swim. Now, while that's nice for some experienced players or those looking for an insane challenge, it really sucks for a large portion of people who may one day complete the Inferno, but need to practice it a little toned down. That's why I think entry mode and the ability to ramp up is absolutely amazing. But pivoting from that, let's jump into the gear. The gear seems to be in an amazing spot currently. I absolutely love the way the Old School Runescape team has been releasing new content and gear for the past few years. They aren't completely shitting all over old content and making it irrelevant like RuneScape of the past. Now, I think that's a huge problem with MMOs nowadays, and I believe this makes Old School RuneScape one of the best MMOs on the market. Now, I'm a little biased, obviously, because I have literally years of my life sunk into this game, but I've pretty much played every MMO out there, and it fucking sucks spending thousands of hours for that in-game content, that in-game gear, you know, to show off all your friends. You just wait maybe a year, don't log in for a year. It happens, life happens, but your gear is made completely useless with a new expansion, new gear release, a new raid, whatever it is. Your old gear that you spend thousands of hours is fucking tossed out the window. And I love the fact that if I didn't play RuneScape for years and kept my bandos, blowpipe, whip, that I can hop back in and still complete content. It's an amazing aspect of Old School RuneScape, and I hope the team continues on this trend. And finally, last one, my biggest pro is the fact that the content is extremely fun and engaging. I know, kind of like a free one, but sometimes it just doesn't hit, you know what I'm saying? And on the day of release, not having any fucking clue what's going on, me and the boys of the clan chat had tons of raids we sent. We ran it for hours and hours and hours and had loads of fun. This honestly has been one of my most played weeks of Old School RuneScape. Normally, I boot up the game, I'll load a YouTube video and AFK whatever skill I'm working on for max. But no, not now. Now I'm waking up early to crush lines of Adderall and prepping myself for level 300 clears. It's fucking awesome, and I really hope the Old School RuneScape team has more raids planned like this in the future. All of that being said, if you guys have any opinions of your own, please comment down below. I'd love to have a great discussion and hear your experiences of the raid. I hope you all are enjoying it. Hope you all get purples. Hope I get some purples. And I want to thank the Old School RuneScape team. You guys have been fucking amazing. You have banged it out of the park. And I hope there's many more raids to come. Thanks for watching.